Time for your latest in business news now. And Exxaro Resources has recorded a solid performance despite the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic and a depressed local economy. Exxaro reported an increase in group revenue to 32.8 billion rand and a 56% rise in headline earnings to over 11.5 billion rand. Now, the miner is declaring a final cash dividend of 11.75 rand, and that's all thanks to the booming commodity prices and a good operational performance in the company for the year. And joining us now to talk more about this is Nombasa Tsengwa, who's the CEO-designate of Exxaro Resources. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon, Nombasa. I've just briefly mentioned an overall view of the company's performance, but it was a really solid one. And perhaps you could furnish us with some more details of the company's operational review and really just the revenue you were able to accumulate over the period.
Good afternoon, Rofhiwa, and thank you so much for inviting Exxaro to your show this afternoon. And indeed, it's been a great day for us at Exxaro, where we have introduced and announced our results, which were actually an all-time high in terms of all the indicators. And we actually experienced quite a few challenges in the year, despite the fact that the results are looking good. One of the key challenges we experienced in this year, especially from our coal operations, has been railing our product to Richards Bay Coal Terminal, where we could not work that well because obviously there were challenges in terms of the availabilities of the trains to RBCT. And we have been talking about this problem where we've seen the challenges in terms of the thefts and the vandalism on the rail. And having said that, despite the reduction and the decrease in our product by 10% compared to last year, we were able to really defend with a very good product mix, seeing a larger amount of the higher value quality of coal in our product mix. We've also been able to hit a few diversified markets and beyond where we usually actually sell, and also being helped by higher prices. And I must also say that our operations have done very well in terms of containing costs.
No, absolutely. I'm glad you bring up the issues around the railways and transporting the coal. Engagements with Transnet around this, because we do know that there's a huge infrastructure problem. Exxaro is not the only company that has highlighted this in terms of the transporting of the final product. What is the current status quo with Transnet, those engagements? We also know that Transnet has invited the private sector to help fix the infrastructure issues. Is Exxaro part of that?
Absolutely. In fact, I am personally part of the industry leaders as part of the core CEOs within the Minerals Council who have been interacting with the TFR executives and the CEO, I must say, and we've gotten a lot of cooperation from Transnet. They've been very transparent to us and they've shared the challenges they've been experiencing. And we do realize that the challenges that Transnet is facing are really systemic issues that affect us in the country, that lead to all the challenges they face in terms of some of the, the thefts and the vandalism of our rail. And we have also interacted, as I said, as the industry, we have interacted at the level of, government, with the Minister of Public Enterprises, the Minister of Minerals and Energy, Trade and Industry, even the president. We've been able to speak to them. And we have a lot of plans on the table together with Transnet, to the extent that, as I've said today in the presentations, that we are even willing to invest some of our own resources to make sure that we solve these challenges.
Absolutely.
But we've seen where we've actually worked together with the industry in the Mpumalanga area on patrolling the rail line. We've really seen some of the benefits coming through.
No, absolutely. And then just a final thought from me, because you brought up the Minister of Mineral Resources, your engagement with him, he's saying that the companies like Exxaro need to come out and express that we can't have a complete destruction of the coal industry in South Africa, in that transition doesn't bring about as much revenue as coal revenue. What say you to those pronouncements that he recently made?
Look, I think the minister realizes the role that the mining industry as a whole plays in our economy. But if you look at the coal contribution in our economy is huge. We still depend on 90% in terms of our electricity generation through Eskom from coal power. And therefore, we need to look at a very responsible way of really managing this vast resource that we have of the coal resource on the ground, considering the fact that for many years we have built this industry around communities where this coal exists, where the reserves are. And we cannot today, given where we are as a developing country, just take up and uproot ourselves and go somewhere else and leave these economies in dire straits. So it has to be a just transition, and I think the minister is really calling for our voices as the mining industry, particularly coal miners, to start talking about what it means, this just transition, so that when people are measuring and looking at us, they know what to expect, and they actually see that we together with government are speaking in one voice, and we're taking responsible steps for the future of our children and also for actually the success of our economy.
Thank you very much. Nombasa Tsengwa is the Chief Executive-designate of Exxaro Resources.